marketing updates to make your small business effective on social media. So this webinar is for you if you have a business or product and would like a step-by-step proven system for promoting it on social media. It's also for you if you've been spinning your wheels when it comes to social media marketing, which means you've done a few things, but nothing really has happened as a result of your efforts. And it's also for you if you want a consistent flow of qualified leads, because in the section of the webinar, I'll be sharing with you exactly step by step how to get qualified leads on social media. And it's also for you if you understand that social media is a marathon, not a sprint, and it takes time. So you cannot have the sort of set and forget mentality on social media where you do one thing once and you think you're going to get all the results you're after. It's something that you need to be consistent. It's something that needs consistency on a daily basis. And if you can't commit to that, either hire someone to do it for you or don't do it at all. This is my advice. So step number one, choosing your social network. Now, a lot of people think that you have to be on all social networks. Instagram came out, everyone thought they had to be on Instagram, then Snapchat, then Facebook, then Twitter, then Google, etc. And so what happened is that people started joining all these social networks and ended up not being able to manage them. And what happened is instead of helping their brand grow, it actually had the opposite effect. What happened is that it actually made their brand and their business look bad because it wasn't managed properly. So you have to be choosy when it comes to which social network to be on. Be choosy. I'd rather you were on one social network or two social networks and did a proper job consistently than be on 10 social networks and be spinning your wheels and making your presence on these social networks reflect badly on your brand. So that's really what I'm trying to say here is choose your social networks wisely. Don't be all excited and jump on all the social networks available. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to describe what Instagram is, what Twitter is, what Facebook is, and the differences and the similarities, so you can make an informed decision on which social network is the best to join. All right, so let's get started first with Twitter. So if you choose to use Twitter for marketing purposes for your business, then this is what you need to know about Twitter. That tweets, which are posts on Twitter, have a limit of 280 characters. It used to be 140 characters more than a year ago. Now it's 280 characters, which means that what you can say in a tweet is very limited. So it's good if you're not so good at long form copy. It's good if you like short messages, you don't short posts, you don't like writing long form posts. It will be a handy kind of social network for you. There are 330 million users, so again it is a considerably big social network. If you were wondering if your audience is on Twitter, chances are they probably are. And the only inconvenient thing about Twitter, that's why I haven't invested too much on Twitter myself, is that the advertising platform is not as sophisticated as Facebook and Instagram. So if you do have an advertising budget, then Twitter might not be the best platform to invest in, just because what you can do with Twitter ads is so much more limited than what you can do on Facebook and Instagram ads. So that's something to consider as well. The great thing about Twitter is that it reduces the 6 degrees of separation to 1. You know how we say that we've got 6 degrees of separation with other people? Now, with Twitter, you don't have 6 degrees of separation. You have 1 degree of separation, because what happens is that you can communicate with absolutely anyone who's on Twitter through the @ symbol. So what this means is that if you want to say something to a particular Twitter user, regardless of whether they're following you or not, regardless of whether you're following them or not, all you need to do is put the @ symbol and their username in a tweet, and you can start a conversation with people. So you can have really one-on-one conversations with anyone who's on Twitter, regardless whether they're following you or not, regardless whether you're following them or not. So you can really start nurturing relationships, building and nurturing relationships really easily on Twitter with pretty much anyone. If you wanted, you could start a conversation with the President of the United States if you wanted, right? So that's one thing that's great about Twitter. Again, it's not something that you can scale, so it's really hard to have one-on-one conversations with millions of people at the same time. It's not something that you can scale, but if you're the kind of person who's very good at one-on-one relationship building and one-on-one conversations, then Twitter's definitely for you. Is there anyone here on this webinar who's very good at one-on-one conversations, one-on-one relationship building? Just type in yes in the chat box, because you will find everything you're looking for with Twitter if that's the case. A lot of people, they don't like mass marketing, etc. They're more the kind of people who whose philosophy is less is more. Then if that's you, then you will definitely enjoy Twitter. Michelle is saying yes, so you can relate to that. So Twitter would definitely be a platform to consider. And it's easy to get followers organically. So if you don't really have a budget to build an audience, if you don't have an audience building budget, then you can use Twitter, because you can build a big audience on Twitter organically. And by organically, I mean without spending money on advertising. Whereas with Facebook, you'll notice it's very, very hard to build an audience of Facebook fans without spending money on ads. No one will see your page unless you're advertising it. Whereas on Twitter, it doesn't really work that way. You can follow people, and out of courtesy, they follow you back. So you don't have to spend money on advertising to get followers. So that's also something to consider about Twitter. And tweets have a short lifespan. So what this means is, if you want your tweets to be seen, your posts to be seen, you need to tweet a lot. So if you can't commit to that, then you'll find that Twitter won't bring you the results you're after, probably, because with Twitter, you have to tweet a lot, because after a few seconds, your tweets get drowned among other people's tweets. So you don't have that long-term visibility on Twitter through tweets, because tweets have a short lifespan. If I was to summarize Twitter in one sentence, it's like an online SMS platform. It's basically like sending text messages to people, short SMS messages to people, either to a group of people or to people individually through the @ symbol. So it's like an online SMS platform. If that's something that appeals to you, it's something that you think could serve your business, then I would definitely recommend you use Twitter for marketing. The majority of users are 18 to 29-year-olds. It's also something else that you need to consider. So if your target audience fits that age bracket, then you'll probably benefit from using Twitter. Now, in terms of Instagram, Instagram is a smartphone-only app, so you can do lots of things on Instagram without a phone, because it's a social network that is managed through a phone and not on a desktop computer. So if you don't like using your phone to perform work-related tasks, then you might struggle with Instagram, because there's not a lot you can do if you don't have a smartphone. It's visual only, so you can only publish videos and images. So it's like the magazine version of your business. So if you find that translating what you do visually is tricky, then you'll struggle to come up with content to publish on Instagram, because it is a visual platform. So that's what happened with a lot of businesses. Instagram started, everyone was talking about Instagram, then Facebook bought Instagram, so it got lots of PR, and so all these businesses jumped on the opportunity, joined Instagram, and then they realized, well, it's actually really tricky to post, because what we do is hard to translate visually, and so they all have these accounts that look terrible or that look inactive, because no one could post anything on Instagram because it's a visual platform. So if you believe that you'll struggle when it comes to publishing visual content on Instagram, then probably don't consider that platform. It has a sophisticated advertising platform, because obviously if you run ads on Instagram, you do it through Facebook ads, and Facebook ads is the most sophisticated advertising platform on social networks at the moment. So it is very sophisticated. So if you have a budget for ads, social media ads, then Instagram could be a platform to consider. The engagement rate is the highest on Instagram. So if you publish, what I mean by this is that if you publish a particular post on Facebook or on Twitter and publish the exact same one on Instagram, you'll experience a much higher engagement rate. More people will like your post, more people will share the post, engage with the post by writing comments than on any other social network. So if you're really looking to build a community that's buzzing, if you're looking for lots of social proof through, of course, engagement, then Instagram is definitely the platform to consider, because you'll experience that on Instagram without much effort. Whereas with the other platforms, it can be really tricky to experience engagement. You can have clickable links in the captions of your post. So on Instagram, the tricky thing is that you cannot have clickable links in your post. Only one clickable link in your bio. So you can only really promote one link at a time. So that rule was created by Instagram to avoid lots of spam users, which is great because it really cleaned up the platform. Whereas on Facebook and Twitter, you'll notice there's a lot of spam accounts. On Instagram, there isn't, because you can only promote one link at a time, and that's in the bio. So it's great in a sense because it didn't attract spam users, but for us marketers, it can be really tricky because it limits what we can promote. One thing that you can do to overcome that is use IGTV. So IGTV allows you to promote all sorts of links, which is great. So IGTV is like the YouTube version of Instagram. So it's a TV channel within Instagram that you can create. So you can do that if you have IGTV, or through Instagram stories. If you have at least 10,000 followers and a business account, then you can have clickable links in your Instagram stories. But if you don't use Instagram stories, if you don't use IGTV, then the only place you can promote links is in your bio, and that's one link at a time. So a bit limiting if you want to use social networks to promote all your different links. If there's only one link that you want to promote at a time, then that's fine. There's 500 million users at the moment on Instagram. So again, very large social network. Chances are you will find your target audience on Instagram because most people use Instagram. Getting followers organically is easy. So again, as I said, with Facebook, to get Facebook fans organically without spending money on advertising is tricky. Whereas on Instagram and Twitter, it's not. It's just a question of basically engaging with people, and then out of courtesy, usually they'll follow you back. Which is something that you cannot really achieve on Facebook. On Facebook, to get fans, you pretty much have to advertise your page. It's pretty much the only option. Another thing that you need to know about Instagram is that it attracts a younger audience. So the majority of Instagram users are 18 to 29-year-olds. So if your products are aimed at maybe an older age bracket, then maybe Instagram is not the right platform for you. If you promote products and services for younger people, 18 to 29-year-olds, then Instagram is definitely a platform you should consider. Now, in terms of Facebook, what you need to know about Facebook is that the organic reach is low. So it has become a pay-to-play platform. What we mean by this is that you can't really achieve much on Facebook unless you're paying for advertising. They've given priority to advertisers, which means that whoever's not spending money on advertising, it's going to be really difficult for them to stand out unless they have a business or a product that's really, really unique, that's got a lot of media attention already, etc. If your product or your service is what I call a Me Too product or Me Too service, which is basically a product that pretty much already exists, then it will be definitely tricky to stand out on Facebook unless you pay for advertising. Posts have a longer lifespan though, so you don't need to post as often. So unlike Twitter, for example, where you need to be tweeting a lot to be seen, with Facebook, when your posts are shown to a percentage of your fans, they're actually shown for a long period of time. The advertising platform is very sophisticated, so you can do a lot with $5 on Facebook. There's so many options. If you know what you're doing with Facebook ads, $5 can go really, really far with ads. Now, it won't last too long because obviously more and more people are using Facebook ads. It's becoming more competitive and more expensive, but at this stage, it's still a very affordable advertising network. Unlike Google Ads, for example, that is just so expensive, Facebook is still quite affordable. There's 2 billion users, so without a doubt, you will find your target audience on Facebook. And it attracts an older generation, so the majority of people are 35 to 55-year-olds. So if your business or your product or your service is aimed at an older generation, then you will definitely you should definitely consider Facebook. Now, step number 2 is putting a strategic plan together. So step number 1 was really understanding the difference between Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, so you can make an informed decision about which social network is the best social network for you. Now, out of curiosity, before I jump into step number 2, who here has decided which social network to focus on? Just type it in the chat box. Just want to make sure that it is clear for everyone. So will you be going for Facebook or Twitter or Instagram? And then add the reason why you have decided to join to use a specific social network to market your business. There's a bit of a delay, so if you're typing in, I'm still waiting for the answers. All right. Okay, Michelle's saying Facebook because it has a larger audience. Okay, that's great. Robert, Facebook because it's got an older audience. Perfect. And Tracy's saying Instagram and Facebook because it covers people age 18 to 55. Fantastic. JC, Facebook, Graham, Instagram and Facebook. Fantastic. All right, great. So step number 2 is putting a strategic plan together. So once you've decided which social network you were going to use, then you put together a strategic plan. So I always tell people, don't do anything on social media unless it's to execute a strategic plan, because a lot of people just go on social media when they have something to promote. So they're not focused on building and nurturing relationships. They only go on social media to get something. And when you only log in on social media to promote something, to get something out of people, you'll notice that it won't work. It won't work. So what you need to do is to put together a strategic plan, so that the strategic plan outlines all the steps you're going to take in order to achieve the specific goal you have set for your business. So in a nutshell, a strategic plan is just a summary of everything you plan to do and plan to achieve using social networks. I'm just going to share with you a template of what a strategic plan looks like. Can everyone see this template? Of course, it is a bit small, but can everyone see this template here, the social media strategic plan template? Great, a few yeses coming through. All right, so basically a strategic plan is nothing too complex. You have your goals, okay? You've got your goals, and you divide your goals into different phases. So phase 1, to achieve that goal, you're going to do this, and phase 2, you can have as many phases as you want. Okay, so you're breaking down all the steps to achieve your goal in multiple phases. Okay, then how you're going to measure whether you're achieving your goals or not. So what your key performance indicators will be, how you're going to track, so what tracking tools you're going to use, your competitors, what they're doing. So it's very important to know who your competitors are and what they're doing on social media, so you can model them. And so that you can be aware of what they're doing, what's working for them, what's not working for them. The kind of voice you'll adopt. So every brand has a voice. So some are informal, some are more formal, some are fun, funny, some are more serious. So what kind of voice you're going to adopt on social media, the content you're going to be publishing on social media, and when you're going to be publishing it. Paid advertising, how much you're going to spend, when you're going to spend it, and how you're going to spend it, what you're going to be promoting, the acceleration strategies you're going to use. So it's strategies that are advanced that you don't use on a daily basis, but maybe once every 2 months or 3 months. So for example, an example of an acceleration strategy could be partnering with an influencer. Another example of an acceleration strategy could be to pay for shout outs. Another example of an acceleration strategy could be to run a contest. So again, it's not something that you do daily. You can do them. Acceleration strategies can run 2-3 times a year, but every 2-3 months. So it's not something that you do daily, but when you do implement these strategies, then you definitely accelerate. And then the content themes you're going to be covering. So what kind of themes your post will have, what hashtags you're going to be using, which social networks you're going to be using, what tool you're going to use to shorten your links, the frequency of your posts, the keywords you're going to use in your content, etc. So it goes on and on. So that's really what a social media strategic plan looks like. So you have to put one together before you even go onto social media. That's very, very important. And I found that I found that the businesses that have a social media strategic plan usually outperform the businesses that don't. So again, consider putting together a strategic plan, and all it is setting a goal and then reverse engineering what you're going to do in order to achieve that specific goal. And once you achieve that specific goal, you set a new goal and you create a new strategic plan. I hope this makes sense. Step number 3 is optimizing your social media presence. So when people check you out on social media, you need to be the shining example of success, okay? And it's really easy to achieve if you know what you're doing. So how do you optimize your social media presence so you're really the shining example of success? So your bio is very important. The bio is basically a bit of a blurb about who you are, what you do, and how you help people. So the elements that you should include in your bio on social media, again, I'll repeat it, is who you are, what you do, who you help, and how you help people. It should answer these 4 questions. If it doesn't answer these 4 questions, you're missing on big opportunities, because remember, someone who reads your bio is only interested in whether they can achieve something through your business or not, if they can get something through your business or not. So if they don't know who you are, how you help people, who you help, and how you help them, then they won't engage with you and with your business on social media. Your headline, your marketing hook. Now, a headline or a marketing hook is a short sentence that within a few words, with just a few words, explains exactly what you do. So it's really, really clear. It's not like it's not like a forgot the word, not logo, but a tagline. It's not a tagline, because taglines don't explain much. For example, Nike's tagline is "just do it." So again, with that sort of tagline, it doesn't really explain who you are, how you help people, etc. So a marketing hook really explains what you do, what your business does. And I'll give you an example in just a second. Then your profile picture. So with a profile picture, of course, don't leave it empty. Have a profile picture. You've got 2 choices with profile pictures. It could be a headshot of you if you are the face of the business. So for example, Tony Robbins, he's the face of his business, so he puts a picture of him. But companies like Starbucks, where they don't really have someone isn't the face of Starbucks, they put the logo. So if you're not the face of your business, put your logo. If you are the face of your business, then put a picture of you. Then banners and headers. on Twitter and Facebook, you can have what's called a background image, a banner. It's called a banner on Facebook. It's called a header on Twitter. It's like a background image. It's another opportunity for you to give more information about your business and really stand out from the other accounts. So it's really prime real estate. It's the first thing people will look at, so take advantage of it. People just upload any banner, any header, and they don't put any thought or any effort into it, and it's really prime real estate. It's as if you weren't taking care of your shop front. If you had a local business and you left the shop front empty, or it was just messy, etc. It has the same effect on social media if you don't put a banner or a header. And add calls to action. Because it's prime real estate, you really want to take this opportunity on your banner to add a call to action. You either want to ask people to follow you, or to watch a video, to browse your website, or any call to action that you want them to follow. Just to give you an example here of our Twitter account, so that's what we call the header. Okay, you can see it's prime real estate. The first thing people will look at, that's the marketing hook, where smart business meets social media marketing. So it's really clear who we help, obviously business owners, how we help them by doing their social media marketing for them. So that's the marketing hook. In terms of the pictures we chose, it's a compilation of all the types of small businesses that we help. So, solopreneurs, artists. You see a picture of a musician, or photographers, or solopreneurs, artists, local businesses, small business owners. So it's really a picture of a compilation of all the types of businesses that we help. Then bottom right hand side, our website URL. So obviously that's where we want people to go after they visited our Twitter profile. In terms of the bio, really clear who we help, how we help people. And then the profile picture, I'm not the face of the business, so we put a logo there. So I hope this makes sense. It really paints the picture on how to optimize your social media presence. Now, before we go into step 4, building your audience, does anyone have a Facebook page or Twitter account or an Instagram account that they would like me to check to give feedback based on what I've said so far? So if you've got a business Facebook page or Instagram account where you promote your business, so I don't want to see any personal Facebook accounts or Instagram accounts, because I'm not interested in seeing that, but I'm more interested in how you use Facebook or Twitter or Instagram to promote your business, so I can give you feedback. So if you have anything, then just type in the link here, type in the link in the chat box, and I will look at it. So Dean was the first one to send me the links, so I am going to go onto Facebook and I'm going to check your Facebook page. Thanks, Dean. Okay, Michelle and Tracy have also shared their link, but Dean was the first one, so I will go with Dean. Okay, so let's have a look here at your page. Alrighty, so based on what I see here, in terms of the profile picture, you chose this image. Now, as I said with profile pictures, don't just put an image, because that's not where you put images. On the profile picture, you either put your logo or you put a headshot of you if you are the face of your business. So I would change the profile picture. In terms of the banner, it's really clear what you do. Obviously a driving school, although you have to clarify that it's a driving school as well. On the banner you've got phone numbers on the banner as well, so all the important information is on the banner. What I would do to make it more relatable to people, I would add pictures of students as well, people who look like they're wanting to learn to drive, so men and women age a certain age. Obviously, usually they're younger, they're 18 plus. So I think that you can personalize the banner a bit more, but it definitely has all the information already that's important. In terms of book now, your call to action is book now. Now you have to remember that people on Facebook, they don't go on Facebook to book appointments. They're not in that sort of mindset. They're just browsing at this stage. So book now is what I call a high commitment call to action, and because it's a high commitment call to action, you're asking people who are just browsing and clicking on things, not actively looking to book anything or buy anything or commit to anything. Chances are people will not click on something that sounds like a high commitment. So if you change your call to action to learn more, then it will be much better on Facebook for you, because you have to have low commitment calls to action on Facebook. In terms of your audience, you have 270 people. Again, in order to really stand out, to start seeing results and stand out from other local small businesses, do whatever it takes to have at least 1,000 fans, because it makes your business look small, and it could make it look smaller than what it is. I know businesses who've been in business for 20 years who've served thousands of people, and then on Facebook they've got maybe 100 fans, and it doesn't really reflect how big and established and popular their business is. So you really want to be, as I said, the shining example of success, okay? So I would do whatever it takes to grow that audience, and you can do that really fast with Facebook ads. In terms of posts, again, last time you posted something was a week ago. Again, you want to be a bit more consistent with posting, so it's not enough. Post once a day, once every 2 days, much preferably. I like the fact that you really humanize your brand. So I really like the fact that you show pictures of your clients or of your students there learning to drive. So you're really humanizing the brand, which is great. That's something that people don't do. But if you notice your posts are really one-dimensional, they look all the same. They all look the same. So you will start becoming really predictable. So you don't want all your posts to be the same. Change it up a little bit. One day talk about one thing, one day post a video, one day post something funny, one day post news about something. So try to make your post multi-dimensional rather than one-dimensional, because what happens is if you keep on posting the same thing over and over again, which is what you're doing, you become predictable. Because you become predictable, you become boring, and people stop engaging. All right, so that's something else that I would some of the piece of feedback that I would give you. I notice you've got a website URL, so something else that I would do is I would make sure that you add the website URL on your banner, because you want people to keep on browsing and going to all your touch points online. So because this is prime real estate, I know you put your phone numbers, but again, people are not in a booking and calling and buying mode when they're on Facebook. They're literally browsing. So you want to put your website URL. You want them to continue checking your touch points, so you become memorable. In terms of reviews, so you've got 17 reviews so far. Now, if you really want to stand out as a small local business, you need to have many more reviews, okay? Because 17, as I said, can make you look smaller than what you are. So maybe the people that come to your driving school, maybe reward them for leaving a review. I don't know, offer them something special just to incentivize to leave a review. Because the more reviews you have, the bigger your business will look, the more established and popular it will look, and people tend to follow other people's actions. So if they're thinking of checking in enrolling in a driving school, and they see that your business has thousands of fans, lots of reviews, etc., they're more likely to pick you over someone who doesn't. So that's really how you stand out from other local businesses on social media. So I hope, Dean, that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. But you're definitely doing a good job so far. Just a few things you need to fine tune if you really want your Facebook marketing efforts to pay off. So I hope this helps, and I hope that this helped the other people on the call today. Some tips that I gave Dean, you could definitely implement for your own business. Okay, all right, so moving on, step number 4, build your audience. And that's also for you, Dean, since one of your priorities should be to build your audience at this stage. So these are the different ways you can build your audience. One way is through contests. You can incentivize people to follow you on Twitter or Instagram, or like your page on Facebook, by rewarding them through contests. So there's different tools that you can use to set up contests. There's rafflecopter.com or pagemodo.com or woobox.com, and all you do is basically you invite people to follow you or like your page, and whoever likes or follows your page gets to win something. So you can make them enter a lucky draw and get them to win something. So this example here is a company called Tiger Balm, and they're basically wanting to grow their audience on Twitter, and they're saying follow us and retweet our tweet for a chance to win this Tiger Balm fan pack. So they're incentivizing people to follow them and share their posts. So incentivize people through a contest in order to grow your audience. So if you have 1,000 people who enter the contest, you'll have 1,000 new fans, and you pick one of them, and that's the lucky winner. Make sure that the reward you give them, the gift you give them, is relevant to your business, because if it's not relevant, if it's a cash prize or an iPad or things like that, you will just get random people who just want the prize. They're not people who are actually interested in your products or services. So don't fall into the trap of giving something that's irrelevant to your business. Excuse me, because then you'll just attract people who just want the prize. Another way to build your audience is by asking your email contacts, so all the people you've emailed in the past, present, and all the people in your contacts, in your email contacts, inviting them to either follow you on Twitter or like your page, etc. So you can do this pretty easily and fast on Twitter. All you need to do is go to the section that says Find Friends. And what you can do, if you have a Gmail account or an Outlook account, you can link your Gmail account to your Twitter account, or your Outlook account to your Twitter account. And when you do that, what Twitter will do is it will send an email to the people in your contact list, inviting them to follow you on Twitter. So with just a few clicks and in a few seconds, you can have tons and tons of invitations going to your existing contacts, inviting them to follow you on Twitter. So that's a fast way to build an audience, and it won't cost you anything. Another way to build your audience, of course, by leveraging your other social networks. So what do I mean by leveraging your other social networks? Basically, if you are on LinkedIn or Instagram, on any other social network, and you want to grow your audience on Twitter, for example, you can invite through a post all your fans from your other social networks, inviting them to follow you on Twitter. So this business, for example, called Texas Roadhouse, what they're doing is they've published a post on Facebook, letting all their fans on Facebook, letting them know that they're on Twitter, and inviting them to follow them on Twitter. So you can really copy this post as a template and invite anyone on your other social networks to follow you on another social network. And so don't just invite them, incentivize them, because people get invitation all the time. So really, if you want to stand out and really incentivize people, give them a reason to. So here, for example, this company, Texas Roadhouse, what they're saying is, follow us on Twitter today to learn about upcoming promotions and special offers. So what they're saying is, hey, we're going to be releasing specials on Twitter, so you don't want to miss out on that information, so follow us on Twitter. So incentivize people if you're going to invite them to follow you on another social network. Also, add a tab on your website. If you've got a website, then add a follow tab where people can easily find your social network. So this website called Easy Weddings. You can see they're on all these social networks, and so they're openly inviting their website visitors to also connect with them on social media. So if you're just on Facebook, just put the Facebook tab, and if you're on Facebook and Twitter, put both, because make it easy for people to find you on social media. Don't think because they're on your website they automatically want to follow you on Facebook and look for you. Okay, people will not burn calories trying to look for you on social networks. Make it easy for them. Make it obvious as well. Don't make it complicated for people to find you on social media. So make sure that you invite them on your website, because a lot of website visitors visit a website once and never return. So in order to avoid that sort of leakage, what you can do is you can make sure that you keep them engaged with your business and your brand by inviting them to follow you on social media, and then really nurture that relationship with them further. So when they are ready to book your service or buy your product, they will, because you'll be front of mind. Because for months or maybe years, they've seen your name and your brand in their newsfeed. So when they're ready to buy or to engage your services, they will, because you're the first business that will come to mind, because you'll be front of mind. So make sure you do that. Another way to build your audience really fast, and that's definitely maybe an option for you, Dean, is to use paid advertising. So on Facebook, for example, if you go to set up an ad, you'll notice a campaign objective called engagement. And when you click on that campaign objective called engagement, you will have a tab that says page likes. And so when you click on engagement and then page likes, it will create an ad that only invites people to like your page. So the only call to action will be for people to like your page. So definitely use engagement and then page likes, and it will create an ad just to build your audience on Facebook. And the same goes with Twitter ads as well. There are specific ads where you invite people just to follow you on Twitter. Now, step number 5, increase your engagement. So let's recap a little bit the steps before we go into the final step. So step 1 was making an informed decision about which social network is the best for you. Step number 2 was putting together a strategic plan. Step number 3 was really optimizing your social media presence, so you're really the shining example of success on social media and you stand out from other businesses. Step number 4 was building your audience, because without an audience on social media, then you're spinning your wheels. You're not talking to anyone when you post something. But step number 5 is turning that audience into people who are engaged, into what I call brand evangelists. Okay, so engagement is simply the number of people who have seen your content and interact by either leaving a comment or liking a post or sharing it. That's what we mean by engagement, because you can have thousands of fans, but then when you post something, no one reacts. Okay, and although it might look good to have a big audience, really for you as a business, it doesn't make a difference, because when you do communicate with them, they don't engage back. Okay, so it's as if you were asking a question to someone and then that person was just staring at you and not responding. So it's the same effect. So how do you increase the engagement? How do you increase the number of people who basically create buzz around what you publish? So there's a few ways to do it, and I've listed them all here. And again, you don't have to do all of this, but these are just tips. You just pick and choose which one's the best for you. So have engaged followers. So one reason why you might not be experiencing lots of engagement is because your followers are maybe not targeted enough. How you built your followers was in a way that wasn't targeted. You didn't target the right people, or your branding was too vague, so you attracted random people. Or maybe because you advertised your accounts in the wrong places. Maybe because you built your audience through a contest and the prize you gave was so generic, you attracted random people. So all these reasons can make that your followers are not targeted, and because they're not targeted, they're not the right people. Obviously, when you post something, they won't engage. Okay, so have engaged followers. So how you build your audience is important, because it's the quality that matters, not the quantity, the quality. Because you can have a very small audience but that's super engaged, or have a big audience that's not engaged. Include popular hashtags. You can include hashtags on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. So include hashtags, because people join conversations around specific hashtags. So when you publish something, make sure you include the relevant hashtags that go with your post, so that people who talk about conversations around that hashtag will find your post as well. Okay, so it's a way to invite people to join the conversations that you're starting. Engage with people. A lot of people say no one's engaging with me, and I'm always asking them, well, do you engage with others? Because when you engage with others out of courtesy, people will engage back. So if you want people to engage with your content, pay it forward, engage with others. Okay, when you engage with other people's posts, you'll be on their radar, and usually over time they'll return the favor and engage with your post. Publish quality content. Okay, publish multi-dimensional content, not always the same thing. Publish things that will actually maybe impress your audience, or maybe educate them, or teach them something. So publish quality content that adds value to people. Every time you're about to publish something, think, is this going to benefit my audience? Is it going to serve them in a positive way? Okay, always think of that, because the more quality content you publish, you can go wrong. If it's quality content, no one will complain. You can go wrong, and people will engage. Track when your audience is the most active. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook have built-in analytics. When you go and check your analytics, it will tell you, hey, this is when your audience is the most active. So that tells you when you should be publishing content, what time of the day, what day of the week you should be publishing content. Include calls to action. A lot of people say, how come no one's responded? I said, did you ask them to respond? Make sure you ask people to like your post, or leave a comment, or share the post. Ask them. Don't assume people will know what to do. Ask them to do it. Embed your post. So every post you publish, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook post, whether it's a Twitter tweet, you have what I call the embed code, and it's the code, the website code of that post, and then you can put that post on your website. So you can have a section on your website that includes all the posts you've published on social media, okay, thanks to the embed code. So your website visitors can also start engaging with your post without even being on social media to do that. So embed your post on your website. Tag people. If you're mentioning some people on in your post, then tag them, because when you tag people, they get notified. So you're on their radar. They'll check out the post, and because they're mentioned, chances are that they will engage with your post because they are mentioned. Boost or promote your post. So when you publish a post, as I said, only a small percentage of people see your post. So because a small percentage of people see your post, only a very small percentage of people will engage, obviously. So if you want more people to engage, more people need to see your post. That's why I highly recommend that you boost or promote your post. Humanize your brand. Show pictures of yourself, your team, your clients, your customers, because people want to know a business not only professionally, but they want to know you personally as well. That's why they go on social media, for the social human aspect of it. So humanize your brand. Dean did a great job on his Facebook page in terms of humanizing his brand, because what Dean did is that he published pictures of his students, which is great. So in terms of humanizing your brand, Dean, you're doing a great job. So you want to basically show the people behind the business. That's what people tend to engage with the most on social media. They love these types of posts. If I publish a blog post, and after that I publish a picture of me, then people will most likely engage more with a picture of me, because it shows, the people behind the business, than with a blog. Okay. Although I do think that a blog adds more value to people, for some reason people would rather engage with pictures of people. So humanize your brand. Show selfless acts of kindness. Statistically, posts about selfless acts of kindness attract the most engagement. Again, only if it's relevant to your business. If something that shows a selfless act of kindness is relevant to your business somehow, maybe you were involved in a charity event as your business, or something happened in your business that displays a selfless act of kindness, write a post about it, because selfless acts of kindness, news and updates on social media tend to perform much better than any other type of post. Michelle is asking, how do I target the audience? So if in terms of targeting, it's usually through paid advertising. And so when you're setting up your ad, it will ask you what types of people you want to show your ad to. So it will ask you the age group, the gender, the profession, it will ask you their interests, etc. So that's how you target an audience. Another way to target an audience is basically by really customizing your account, so really making it clear who your business is for, who it helps, because then you want to attract people who don't fit that. So having a generic banner, a generic bio and all that won't really tell people a lot about your business and who you serve. And so that's how you can also attract random people. So being very specific in your branding, in your messages, in your posts, who you help and how you help people, that's also another way to really help with the targeting. But if you're talking about targeting in ads, it's just a question of selecting between the different choices when you set up your ad. I hope this makes sense. So what should your engagement rate be? A lot of people ask me, well, what's a good engagement rate? So it's 1%. So 1% is considered very good. A lot of people, they kind of compare their engagement rate to celebrities, so like the Kardashians and all that. And that's a trap that I don't want you to fall into, because you cannot compare your small local business to Kim Kardashian's business, who's always on TV, radio, and magazines and all that, obviously. So for a small business, a healthy, a very good, more than healthy, a very good engagement rate is 1%. So 1% of the people who see a post, if 1% of them engage, then that's considered very good. Okay. Step number 6 is scale your efforts. Okay, so how do you scale your efforts? Well, the best way is through paid advertising. You can really scale your efforts fast and achieve your goals fast, any goal, if you just put money into ads. So if you want more traffic to your website, you can do that by paying for traffic. If you want more engagement on your post, you can pay for that. If you want more people to watch your videos, you can pay for that. And you'll see that a great way to scale your efforts fast is through paid advertising or shout outs. So shout outs is when you partner with influencers or people who have a big audience on social media, a big engaged audience on social media, and their audience matches the one you want to target. You can partner with them, and you can either pay them, or you can reciprocate, or do another deal with them in order for them to endorse you. So that's what we call a shout out. A shout out is when someone endorses you on social media. So there's a lot of people who have large audiences and that have the audience you're after, who are willing to get paid or to receive free products or to receive maybe a reciprocal shout out, whatever it is. They're willing to endorse your business. Okay, so partner with people who provide shout outs. Step number 7 is tracking. So how do you know that you're on track to achieving your goals? Well, in order to track, you need to know what your goals are, and that goes back to step number 2, which was putting together a strategic plan. So there's different types of goals. If you're at a level 1, if you're just starting out on social media, then your goal should be brand awareness, audience building. If you're intermediate, you've already got a big audience, you're at a level 2 goal, which is engagement. You want to turn that audience into people who are actually engaged with your business, who are brand advocates. If you've got a big audience that's engaged already, you're at a level 3 goal, which is traffic. You want to take these people from social media to go to your other touch points, okay, such as your website. If you've already got a big audience that's engaged, that's clicking on your links, and you're getting traffic to your web pages, you're at a level 4 goal where you want to convert these people. You want to convert that traffic, and that's the list building, where you take that traffic and turn it into people who share their name and their email, so that you can remarket to them through email marketing or SMS marketing or direct mail marketing. So that's level 4. So depending where you're at, that's the type of goal that you would set, okay? So know your goals and set a goal based on where you're at, whether you're level 1 or level 2, level 3, level 4. So you can start from scratch and set a level 4 goal. That wouldn't be easy to achieve in a short period of time, okay? So know where you're at and set a goal that's based on where you're at. Then know your key performance indicators, okay? So if your goal is level 1 goal to build brand awareness and audience building, then your key performance indicators, so what you're going to be looking at in order to make sure that you're reaching your goals, is the number of fans and followers. If you're at the level 2 goal, which is building engagement, what you will be looking at is the number of likes, shares, and comments and mentions. If you're at the level 3 goal, which is getting traffic to your web pages, then your key performance indicator will be the number of clicks your links are getting. Then if you're at the level 4 goal, which is conversion, which is list building, capturing people's names and emails to remarket to them, you would be looking at the number of email subscribers. So know your goals so you know what numbers to look at, because if you don't have a goal, then you don't have key performance indicators and you're in the dark and you're just spinning your wheels on social media. All right, so there are different tracking tools that you can use, of course, to track all this. There's the Facebook Insights, Twitter Analytics, or Instagram Analytics, so built-in analytics tools that you can use. There's clickmeter.com if you want to measure traffic and clicks. I mean, there's tons of traffic tools, but these are the ones that we use, that we recommend. Your CRM system to measure list building. So CRM system could be Aweber, MailChimp, Infusionsoft, GetResponse. So that's another tracking tool. That's if you're at the level 4 goal, by the way. Or Facebook Ads Manager or Twitter Ads Manager to measure specific paid campaigns. So that's to measure specific ads. If you're running paid ads. All right. So just to recap here before we wrap up. Step number 1 was choosing your platform. So I know that a lot of you decided which social network to focus your efforts on. Step number 2 was putting together a strategic plan. I shared with you what a strategic plan looks like and what it should include. It's basically setting a goal and reverse engineering how you're going to achieve that goal. Optimizing your social media account, so it's really clear who you are, what you do, how you help people, so you really stand out from all the noise on the social media. Step number 4 is building your audience, because without an audience on social media you won't achieve much. And then step number 5 was building that engagement so that that audience is actually engaged with you. Step number 6 was accelerating, so how to put all this on steroids through paid advertising and influencer partnerships. And then step number 7 was, of course, tracking to make sure that you are achieving your goals. All right, so before we go into the Q&A session, I'll tell you a little bit about our agency, Social Media Worldwide. If you would like to hire our services to do all this for you, then this is what is included. So bear with me, I'll go through 5 minutes. I know that a lot of people always ask what we can do for them to help them. If you're time poor but you have a budget, then this is definitely for you. So you get a social media manager if you decide that you want to really outsource your social media marketing to us because you don't have the time or the patience or the skills to do it, and you'd like to get it done. Then once you join our services, you get your own social media manager. Your social media manager will put a strategic plan together for you. So your social media manager will look at your social media account, and based on your goals, we'll put it together a strategic plan for you. We'll be tracking your social media, of course, based on the goals we've set up. We'll audit your social media. So what I did with Dean, so looking at his Facebook page, we will do that, and we will pinpoint what's working, what's not working, so you know exactly. It's complete transparency. And then once you're happy with your strategic plan, we will execute your strategic plan, because a lot of people have strategic plans and then they don't have the time to execute them. So we will execute them for you, so you know in advance what will happen, why it will happen this way, and then you'll get it done, okay, by us. You get to choose which social network we will manage for you. We can of course advise you which one is best if you don't know. You get to choose between Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google Plus, Twitter, or Facebook. The value of this is $9.97, and of course you can decide that for 2 months we do Instagram, then we jump to Twitter, then Facebook. So it's not locked in which social network we manage. We can change every month or every few months. You also get the optimization of your social media profile. So anything that needs to change, whether it's a banner, a profile picture, a logo, that's all included. We've got a branding team in-house, so we will rebrand anything that needs to be rebranded, redone, resized, anything, a logo, anything, images. You get to also get our branding team that will help you. So any suggestion we make, if you're happy with our suggestions, we'll actually get our branding team to execute. So all your profiles are optimized for search, you look professional, your brand grows, and you become follow worthy, and you improve your brand recognition thanks to our branding team. And the value of this is $4.97. I know that branding companies that just work on branding, they charge thousands and thousands of dollars just to put together a logo. Okay, so you've got our branding team in-house as part of the service. We also work on your audience building as well. So we will set up an ad to promote your account. We'll set up a contest if you want us to. We'll organize one shout out so you don't have to. So you have social proof, so you become an authority in your market, and so that your message gets out to more people. Probably one of the most time-consuming things to do on social media is building an audience, and so that's also part of the service. So you don't have to spend too much time or energy doing it, because that's also part of the service. This is what Caroline Netto had to say. She was one of my first ever customers when I launched this business about 8 years ago, and she says that thanks to this service she got 46,000 followers in 3 months. Grant Wheeler, a local coffee business, he's got a local coffee business in Perth. He says that thanks to our work, he can't keep up with all the work. Our service has directly improved his ability to attract new clients, which is great. You also get 2 unique posts a day, Monday to Friday. So again, one of the most time-consuming things to do on social media is writing content, writing multi-dimensional content, posting it, making sure that it's posted at optimal times, optimal days, etc., coming up with engaging posts that are unique and engaging. So we do that for you Monday to Friday, twice a day. That's 10 posts a week. So you free up your time so you can reinvest it in your business or use that spare time however you want, so that you double your online exposure, because we make sure that you're seen by people, by the most amount of people as possible at the right time, so that you remain front of mind. So not only do we build your audience, but we make sure we nurture that audience, because an audience that's not nurtured, you can't really market to them, they won't be responsive. And so that you nurture your audience, and the value of this is $4.97. So that's probably one of the most important aspects of the service, is the posting. Lead generation management as well. So we manage any inquiries you receive. So sometimes we'll receive questions on social media, comments, etc., people asking questions. We manage them because we log in daily, Monday to Friday, so no inquiries will be left unanswered. We make sure that any inquiries, we redirect them to your business in a very timely manner. We set up contests if you want us to capture people's contact details. We can set up lead generation ads if you have the budget, of course, for it. The value of this is $5.97. That really, really pays for the service. You also get unlimited support, so access to me or your social media manager, or both, by phone or by email, up to you. You can get to speak to me if you request it, or to your social media manager. Can get to email me or of course your social media manager, unlimited email support, and you get expert advice for your campaigns and business. And I said expert advice because we've run some of the biggest social media campaigns in Australia, and we've got 8 years of experience doing this for businesses, all different types of businesses in different industries, different sizes. So you really you get expert advice, because chances are we achieve something that you want to achieve already, so we can help you. So the value of this is $4.97. This is what Pauline Woodstock had to say. She says, my audience went from 60 to over 2,000 people in just a few weeks, and I increased my page views by 400%. She says that we're an asset for any business seeking to create a community of potential customers. Pat Mesiti, he came to us, he already had a very established big business. He just wanted to build his mailing list further, so he was at a level 4 goal, and that's what we achieved for him. Could you do this another way? Yes, of course you could do this another way. You could hire other social media agencies, but in the UK they charge about £1,250 a month, like this company called Born Social. In Australia they charge about 2,000 Australian dollars a month, like KBB Digital. If you were to hire an outsourcer from the Philippines or India, they charge about $300 a month. And again, a lot of times you have to come up with a strategy. They just execute. So, yep, they're great workers, and definitely they'll get the job done, but you need to actually be managing them, telling them what to do, which is not the case with us. We come up with a strategy and we execute it as well. So now, if I could make this entire service extremely affordable to own, who would be interested in getting involved? Just type in yes in the chat box. If I could really remove price as a barrier and make it so affordable that it just paid for itself, who would be interested in getting involved? Just type in yes in the chat box. I want to know who you are. I want to know who I'm speaking to. Michelle says yes with lots of exclamation marks. Fantastic. A few yeses coming through, which is great. All right, so let's recap what you get. JC saying yes as well. Fantastic. So let's recap what you get. You get a social media manager, optimized social media profiles, organic audience building, content marketing, 2 posts a day, Monday to Friday, lead generation management, unlimited phone and email support, total value of $3,600. Now, here's why I'm going to give you an amazing offer today because I want your success story. These are all the people that we feature that are extremely happy with our service. And of course, the more people who are happy with our service, the more our business grows. Okay, so it's really important for us that you're happy. We want to make sure this happens. But in order to do that, we need to work together. Now, if you want to get this sort of exposure that I'm talking to you about, you could, of course, do print media advertising, but we're talking about costs that go from $3,000 to $15,000 just to get a color ad in a magazine or a newspaper. Search engine optimization, companies charge $1,000 a month minimum. It goes up to $10,000 a month. Telemarketing companies, they charge $50 an hour. It ends up being about $8,000 a month for the same type of exposure that I'm talking to you about, okay? With social media, you can get the exact same amount of exposure, if not more, at just a fraction of the cost. So this service that I'm describing here in this webinar is called the Leverage package. It's the management of one social media platform. And on our website, it's $497 Australian dollars a month. But for being on this webinar, I am not going to charge you that. I'm going to charge you much, much less. And I'm also going to add bonuses. So you see, it pays to be on a live webinar and investing in your education because I love giving freebies and bonuses and special offers. So I'm adding 4 incredible bonuses, and that's only available for you guys on the webinar, by the way. You won't see that on the website. So the people who purchase on the website never get to get this discount and never get to get these bonuses. So the first bonus is $100 off per month for up to 12 months. So if you want to stay and use our service for up to 12 months, you still get $100 off per month for up to 12 months.
Každý rok pracujem na tom trošku inak. A už to kolega nastavil, že mi pomohol.
We also run your ads, your Facebook ads. We create them, manage them, optimize them. That service on its own, when people hire us just for Facebook ads, we charge $997 a month. And that comes to you for free. We can run, optimize, and manage all your Facebook ads for free. And people pay $997 a month to get that service. You get that service for free as well. You get a $50 advertising credit, so we pay for your ads for up to $50. So you don't even have to spend any money for your first ad, and just the exposure you're going to get is just going to cover. It's just going to cover for the cost of this service anyway. And you get a complete home study course. So a lot of people want to learn how we do what we do, maybe to duplicate it on another business or to take over at some point, do it themselves. And you'll know exactly how to do it because we give you access to a complete home study course, Social Media 360. So you master Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, and Twitter marketing. It's 3 courses in one, and I give it to you for life, and it's updated constantly. The value of this is $585, and you get that for free. This is just a fraction of what this company is. You get access to it even after you've canceled the service. You still have access to this for life, by the way. How to create viral campaigns on social media, how I make $80 to $100 a day from 3 social media funnels, how to build a huge engaged audience, how to get 300 leads a month, behind the scenes of highly profitable campaigns. You also get to see how to use Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter ads. The latest social media tools to increase your productivity. What we've learned in 6 years of living and breathing social media, and the common mistakes to avoid if you want to generate leads, step-by-step system for generating qualified leads, how to easily secure shout-outs, how to partner with influencers to scale your efforts, how to put together a highly effective strategic plan, how to optimize your social media accounts for more authority, skyrocket your brand and become follow-worthy. So you get all this for free for life as well. So let's recap what you get. You get a social media manager, optimize social media profiles, organic audience building, content marketing 2 posts a day, Monday to Friday, lead generation management, unlimited phone and email support, $100 monthly discount for up to 12 months, the Facebook ad management, the $50 advertising credit, and the social media 360 home study course, over 6,000 worth of value. And it's only 397 Australian dollars a month and no lock-in contract. So 397 Australian dollars a month and no lock-in contract. You can stay with us
Dobre,
1 month,
tak
2
vám
months, 3 months, as much as you want, or as little as you want. There's only 5 spots available. You can only make the bonuses and the discount available to 5 spots, to 5 people. Only obviously because of the time commitment. So go to socialmediaworldwide.com/special. That's socialmediaworldwide.com/special. These spots, I have to warn you, get taken really fast. They always do. I don't release them very often. So make sure you grab yours if you're on the fence. You've got nothing to lose. You'll be in very good hands. This is what Kevin O'Loughlin had to say. He says that thanks to social media worldwide, I have been able to build a big list in just a few weeks. It's a brilliant service. Harry Dent, the world-renowned economist, my team and I do his social media marketing for his events in Australia, and he says that we've been responsible for generating hundreds of new leads in a short amount of time and attract hundreds of people to his events in Australia. Now, do you think you need this? Type in yes in the chat box if you think you need this. Today, only 397 Australian dollars a month. Go to socialmediaworldwide.com/special. That's socialmediaworldwide.com/special. Only 5 spots available. Grab them. Why now? They will run out.
Dobre, takže toho Andaluša vám teraz posielam číslo.
Okay,
a buď ho nájdete a pošlete mu, ale treba mu aj mailik poslať, že ako mali plniť tú žiadosť. To nájdete tých predpripravených však.
Fantastic, a few yeses coming through.
No, super, dobre, tak možno sa ešte počujeme, ak nie, tak vám. Toto len, vy už uvidíte, že čo malo a podľa toho. Dobre, si nepamätáme tiež, ako toľko rozprával, on povedzte mi meno, on dal, už to mi niečo hovorilo, však ja si mena pamätám, ale povedzte mi odkiaľ ste. Takže netuším. Dobre, a keď budete končiť, tak mi ešte pošlite aktualizovaný ten Excel, dobre, že zapíšete, že aj táto. Dobre, super, možno sa ešte počujeme, tak zatiaľ pozdravujem do Bratislavy, do počutia.
Just implement the tips I've given you. If you're worried about that, but in general, when we take over, things happen much faster, usually. All right. So, 5 spots, guys. Grab them. socialmediaworldwide.com/special. They will be taken really fast. Any questions, now is the time. If you don't have any more questions, well, that is a wrap from me. Thanks so much for being on the webinar. Keep an eye out for the replay. I will be sending out a replay that will be available for the next 5 days only. So, congrats to those of you who have signed up to the service. You will receive an email from us very shortly on how to get started. Again, keep on investing on your education when it comes to social media marketing. It is definitely a huge